What's going on, everyone? Welcome to Bourbon and Bullshit Podcast with some good friends, great drinks, and a little bit of BS. So grab a seat, pour up something neat, and welcome to the show. All right. Welcome into a special episode of Bourbon and Bullshit for the month of January. We are doing a supporter spotlight, and I can't stress enough how thankful I am for everyone who's either helped, contributed, followed, liked, subscribed, or our Patreons who are consistently every month saying, "Take my money, please." And I want to say I couldn't do it without you. So for the month of January, you're going to get a lot of time with some people that have been there from the beginning. Today we have Alex C. I don't know if you want me to say your last name.
That's fine.
Alex Cardona has been a longtime friend of the show, and actually a friend in real life. So really excited to have him on the show and to show him some love. What's going on, Alex? How are you?
Hey, man. Thanks for having me here.
Of course, man. So a little bit about Alex. I kind of want to give him opportunity to speak about it, but he's been a big follower of the social media and the stuff that we've done, even back to the days of Full Frontal Nerdity.
Exactly.
Alex, it's like, what brought you along? Like, what put you into even Full Frontal Nerdity? I don't know if it was because of our personal life, but yeah, what?
Well, honestly, you posted something, you tagged Ken, and I was like, all right, G's doing a podcast. Let's see what's going on. And for whatever reason, I hit download all, and I'm like, oh, there's a lot. And I'm like, all right, cool. So I just listened while I was at work, and yeah, I became a big supporter, part of Patreon and all that stuff.
Yeah. So definitely we do appreciate you, man, following us from there to here. And from day one, Alex has been one of the people who has even answered some questions afterwards. Like we were talking about the liquid foamer for anyone who's a vegan who didn't want to have egg substitutes when you make a whiskey sour. I was like, I don't know what this is. And he wrote me like a week later. He's like, that's chickpea juice or whatever. What?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
I'm like, what are we talking about?
I'm listening to this and I'm like, should I say it? This is like 4 weeks ago. I don't know.
Anyone listening at home, yes, always send me the message. There are straight up times that I look forward to those moments to know that someone watched or listened. I was like, oh, that's cool. That's dope, man. I appreciate it. Like very different kind of vibe and show, but we'll get to there in a second. Alex, like giving everyone the opportunity to tell us their origin stories and talk to us about them. I know that you put your Instagram as aspiring chef and a couple of things. So tell us about you, where we met, and just kind of who you are as a human being, man.
Well, origin story would be we met at Walgreens. Mm-hmm. Our eyes locked. We knew it was something. Yeah, it's over by the infamous 3303, which is now defunct. And yeah,
thank you so much.
Yeah, it's from there at a store level at that location, you have to have thick skin because if not, you're not gonna make it. And I think I was there before you. Anyways, I was just,
you're there before.
And so, like, when you came along, honestly, it was a breath of fresh air because I was like, Lord, all these people are just like so cutthroat and they're trying to do this and do that. And you kind of just went like, hey, I'm going to treat you like a person. I'm going to treat you like I would like to be treated. I'm like, all right, cool. I can vibe with you. And then from there on, that's pretty much how it is, whenever we look at the schedule, I'll be like, who's it? Are we closing? Yeah, it's gonna be a night. And so I did everything at a store level, under management, and then I headed out to the pharmacy, and that's where I met the rest of the crew.
That's dope. Yeah, one of our friends, and she's been on the show, the nurse Amanda.
Yeah.
She was part of that store too. So for anyone who's ever wondered if trauma bonding is real, it really is.
And it lasts
forever. Like your friends forever. Like you could still be mad about some shit that happened 10 years ago. Remember that time this motherfucker did this shit?
Yeah.
Yeah, and you touched on something kind of funny because I think everyone goes through it in their like real everyday job life. As you look at the schedule, like who the fuck's closing?
Yeah,
Fuck this
exactly.
guy, Greg. I don't want Greg here. What the fuck is going?
Yeah, yeah,
You can always like tell the kind of night it's gonna be when you see so and so's here, so and so's here. It's like, oh, this motherfucker was has some drama in their life. I don't want to hear about him and his goddamn angry life. Or people like everyone's vibing, everyone's on the same page. Shit
yeah,
gets done, but
yeah. When you have that core group, and it doesn't matter what's gonna happen. At the end of the night, it's gonna be a great night. Because either everything happens, everything flows, or if it's like the most disastrous night, you can just kind of shit talk.
you can
You
laugh
can,
about it. You can have
yeah,
fun the whole time.
exactly. The chisme everywhere. You're like, did you see that lady that came in? This is the third time I've seen her with like three different people, and so all that stuff. Like once you know your crew, you're good. And so glad we had those times.
It was a lot of fun, man. There were some crazy stories. So not to get too into the weeds, well, actually, I think it might be funny, but we were in a predominantly Hispanic area
Yeah.
that would yell at you if you looked Hispanic and never spoke Spanish or didn't want to speak Spanish. Like they would bring you in food. Everyone like hugged and kissed like old school barrio Hispanic shit. I'm like, what is
Yep.
going on? It's not anywhere near what you would imagine corporate America to be like.
Indeed.
That being said, the staff is great. There were some funny moments, but we all got along, and it just reminds me of those times when when you had a boss that just was shitty, and
Yeah.
every day you're just like, oh fuck,
Yep.
and everyone just kind of became like you had this unspoken language of like kind of stare at each other, make that eye contact. Do you hear this bitch? Or do you hear
Yeah.
this dude? Or do
Yeah,
you
You're
hear
just
this
you're just
motherfucker?
scanning the items and doing.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Mm.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But in that story, you would get a lot of crazy situations and stories. It's weird. I don't want to go into it too deep, but it was a lot of fun.
Yeah. Would you kind
What?
of not to maybe, I don't know, trigger
No,
warning or anything like that, but were you there when they found the dead body?
no, but now you're going to tell us about it.
Okay. All
Okay,
right. So
go ahead.
I was already in the pharmacy by then. Um, uh, how the layout of the store, it's crucial to the story, but toward the back of the store, the pharmacy window for the drive-through is pretty much right at the corner of the store.
Hmm.
And so, you have to drive around, and then there's a small drive-through to go
Hmm.
out. And there was oh my God, a street light there. And I'm used, handling the drive-through, and I see a couple of people kind of like do a weird turn trying to leave. And one of the guys goes like, "Hey, I don't know if you guys know this, but I think there's a guy, and he looks pretty bad. I'm not sure if he's sleeping or if he's drunk or anything like that. But can somebody go out there?" I'm like, "All right, cool." So I head over to one of the managers at that time, assistants, and I'm like, "Yo, I don't know if you know this, but blah blah blah." He's like, "All right, let me go," and I see him run out the store, go around, and then he just starts telling everybody. I had a long line. That area is always had like a long line. Sincerely, they're like, everybody needs to go. Everybody needs to go. Go, go, go. And I'm like, yo, dude, what's going on? And he goes, don't tell anybody. It's just a dead body here. And yeah,
How could you not tell anybody that? How could I just say, hey, what did he do? Put cones around the body? How?
no, he just stood there and he's like, Alex, I need you to go call 911. Tell them there's a dead body over here, but don't tell anybody else. I'm like, okay, cool. And so I'm like on my phone. They're like, what's going on? It's like, it's an emergency. And I'm like on the phone. It's like, hey, yeah, I'd like to report dead body. Gave the address and stuff like that. And he's like, pharmacy's closed, all that stuff. And so like anybody who needed to pick up, they came
Mhm.
inside, but he was out there. And yeah,
That's
apparently, unofficially, it was a dump. Yeah,
someone dumped a body there and dipped.
someone dumped the dip.
Oh my God. I did
Yeah,
not know that.
yeah,
How did I not know the story of the dead body? This is crazy.
yeah, and yeah, like that manager took a week off after that. He's like, I'm not dealing with this. Bye. And yeah, it was trauma bonding, right?
Yeah. Bro, I knew crazy stories about the one of the employees there dropping his pants and giving himself a shot because he was like freaking out about something, having a panic attack.
Yeah, I heard that too.
Yeah, but that was another one, but not the dead body. Here no, yeah, that your story wins.
Yeah.
How the hell? Did they end up finding out what happened outside? Like who it was? Like was he like, oh, part of the
Like,
gang or
nah.
like
Yeah, like from the details of that, they said was it was a dump. They didn't see any forensics anywhere else. The dude was super cold,
mm,
no rigor, and you know,
that is
yeah,
bananas. That is bananas.
yeah. And apparently, like people did see them since like the morning shift,
Wait,
but they
wait. People were driving around a dead body all day.
all day. They didn't know who they did. It's La Costa.
Oh my god, I forget how much the hood is. How the hood is. We don't just talk about nothing.
Yeah,
It's a lot of mama business. It's a lot of mind my business.
yeah, yeah.
God damn it.
Yeah,
That
it's
is
like, hey, that dude's he's just chilling. He's not hurting anybody. Not my business. And they keep on going. Yeah.
that's not okay.
It's
Oh my God, that's fucked. Oh my
yeah.
God. I hope that there's some closure at the end of that because that is scary to
Yeah.
just
Yeah, me too.
it's a fucked up thing. It's like if you're ever getting assaulted or whatever, it's more likely to get help if you yell fire
Yeah.
than if you yell that you're being assaulted or attacked or anything. That
Yeah.
is kind of dark and fucked. Shit.
Yep.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah. There you go.
Any other wild stories that I'm not tribute to your time in retail pharmacy?
I mean, honestly, um, that's like apex. Everything else
Mhm.
has been, they found drugs,
Yeah.
like obviously not the pharmacy kind.
Mhm.
Yeah, they found that people just not understanding and getting mad and
Mhm.
want to throw hands.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. I had a
yeah,
shoulder tackle somebody for one time, and so like full disclosure, this is well before like, hey, softly approach people, soft stop. For any of you who've worked in retail and understand that, at some point we shifted over to like, hey, let's approach everyone calmly, patiently, blah blah blah,
yeah,
and it became like everyone shifted to be more safer for the team members and safer for everyone. Which hey, I'm not mad at. I'm very happy that we did and we shifted there. The
totally.
problem is that back then, motherfuckers would fuck around and would have to find out.
Yeah,
So with that being said,
there was no buffer time. There
no,
was action and reaction, and that's
yep,
it.
some motherfucker would push the limit, and you would have to push back. There,
Yeah,
it wasn't YouTube. It wasn't anything where people would like, oh my god, they're recording a manager at the store, like fucking someone up. It was like, no, they started.
yeah,
This is how it's going down. But I remember someone, is some piece of shit dude was cursing out one of my staff. And he's just like, oh, fuck you, and being really mean to some lady. And I'm like, hey, man, you need to relax. Stop. Fuck you. Like, F you. I'm like, hey, man, I'm asking you to leave. I don't want any problems. Just
yeah,
leave. He's like, whatever, you can go and do ish. You're right. I'm not going to do anything as long as you don't try anything.
yeah.
So I walk away. I'm a business. At the time, I wasn't like the ESM. I was like a shift supervisor. And they call us up front, like, hey, someone's stealing. It's this dude. So my ESM's running out. I'm running out. I see the dude. My ESM's like, hey man, stop running. And I take it upon myself to stop him from running. So I like tackled, like hockey checked him into the wall. And you could tell this is how I knew this guy, he's now my best friend, Kevin, was going to be my best friend ever. Was instead of yelling at me, he starts looking around to see who saw what I just did. To,
Ah,
to make sure I'm not in trouble.
yeah,
And I was like, he said stop, and like I hit it, like I hit him, and I took
yeah.
the product back. Like, oh, my head hurts. I was like, good, it should. And Kevin's like, hey, let's go back inside. Let's take our
Yeah,
product, move away. And I had customers, instead of being upset, they said, good,
yeah,
he shouldn't be stealing.
yeah, yeah. They're like good, good.
Good. Keep our prices down. And nowadays, if you tell someone I shoulder checked and hit some dude stealing, like he has a family or something, it'd be he's stealing cell phones. He's stealing fucking prepaid cell phones. No, we're not doing that.
Oh no, man.
But
that place was wild.
It's so wild. And I don't think customers ever get to see that side of it. Like even pharmacy and all that, they think that everything is easy. You just pour pills into a vial and just move on with your day. To ring up purchases. No, Karen, I have to deal with people like you all day, or thieves, or be held at gunpoint 3 times in my time working for the company.
Yep.
And it was never in the hood. It was like upper middle class, Bentley in the parking lot type of area, and I got held up at gunpoint and put in a freezer.
Damn.
I never told you this story?
No.
Oh, bro. It was an overnight or something. I was helping cover.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
And the person walks in. I was setting my cashier to go to break. She's like, "Oh, when I'm done sweeping, I'll go." Cool, bet. I'll be up here covering. So, at the corner of my eye, I see the front door open, just because those automated doors. Just assuming it's a regular customer. That's all. Hey, turn, dude in a ski mask, with a sock over his hand and a gun pointed at my face. Hey, man, relax. Like, who else is in the building? I don't know. It's 2 a.m. It's me and the pharmacist. I don't know. He's like, don't be smart. I'm answering your question, my dude. Yeah. And the unfortunate thing is I was slick. Like I was a slick mouth dude. I was probably like about 20, 25, 26, 20, like still thinking I'm invulnerable from everything. I'll never die.
Right.
So I probably shouldn't have been talking to this guy with the gun like that. But, he sees our cashier. She starts bawling. Hey, so-and-so, relax. It's fine. We're fine. Keep the gun on me. Says, don't be talking for me. It ain't fine. You need to give me. I'm trying to help you, man. If she starts freaking out, this is going to be harder for you. Like, shut up. I didn't say it like that. I was just trying to keep everybody calm. Go to the pharmacy area. It's back then when you had 2 separate windows and it was very, it's a very different layout. And my pharmacist, so the guy with the gun has it to my back, tells me to stop moving and tells my cashier to go get the pharmacist. My pharmacist thinks it's a joke because he sees me at the corner. He's like, what is G doing in a corner? So he looks, and the guy with the gun gets anxious. He's like, hey, tell your man to get up. Not a joke, bro. I need you to get up. He sees the seriousness of the situation. Walk to the office. Time lock safe, a bunch of security things, but he still was able to make it out with a decent amount of money. But while we're standing there, I'm going to get so much hate for this. So many people are going to be pissed off at me. Or standing in the office, still gun to me. She's calmed down. The pharmacist has kids, so I'm like, keep the gun on me. I'm the only one you really need. They have no access to anything else but me.
Yeah.
While we're standing there, he notices headphones sticking out the top of my shirt. So he asked, "Who has cell phones here?" Me. So he's like, "Give me your phone." I was like, "Bro, for what?" And I got mad. Bro, for what? You just got this much money, like for what? Like this is not this company's phone. It's my phone. He's like, "Give me your phone. You'll be all right." Like, bro, don't be a dick. Like, come on, you already got a fuck ton of money. Why do you need my phone? I'm just gonna fucking freeze it. I'm gonna brick it anyway. He's like, give me your goddamn phone. So I'm arguing with the dude with the gun over my face. And then there's like a light dawns on me. He's like, oh, I could die. I could die. Like here, I'm like, you a bitch. He's like, what? It's like, I'm like, you're being a bitch. And he's like, you're lucky I don't got time for this shit. We gotta like go. I'm like, okay, whatever. Afterwards, the 2 people in the room are like, what the fuck is wrong with you? Like, he puts us in a freezer. Customer comes in. He chases the customer out with the gun. Customer makes it, runs across the street to where police are. Guy, whatever. They don't catch him that day. They catch him later on. Yeah. Afterwards, my boss, and I don't know the impression I gave him. So I called him. He shows up. He's like, oh, I'm really glad it was you who was here tonight. I don't know if that means you devalue me. But all right, fuck you too. No. The other managers would have probably pissed their pants or cried. And I did the math of who was there. John Estrada. Love you, buddy. Full government. I completely love the dude, but at that time he's like a little smaller dude, like gentle boy. And I just been like
laughing at past John, not current John.
Yeah, current John. He's much angry. He's a completely different man. Back in the day, I was a little bit more of a hoodlum. So you thought it's because I'm a hoodlum. That's
Okay,
fair.
yeah,
It's fair 'cause that was like at that time the third time a gun's been pulled on me at work. And I was like, that's fair.
yeah.
Probably the most experience with weapons being put in my face, which is a bad thing.
I mean, like, what's the saying now? It's like if I had two nickels, I'd
Oh
give
yeah.
nickels, but it's kind of weird that I have two nickels because of it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, yeah.
Hey, is three a lot? Depends. Dollars, no. Guns in your face, yes.
Yes,
Yeah,
definitely.
more than it should. But yeah, man, for those who don't know, like that trauma bonding, that those kind of like locations and all that, there's a lot of stories. We've done full episodes on bourbon and life after retail, and didn't even touch into like the scariness of those opportunities, those work environments. But
Yeah.
you've come a long way since that though. Like you've changed careers, and you did have a brief time pursuing career in culinary.
Yeah.
So tell me about that. Like how what was that transition?
So, I went from retail to pharmacy, and then from pharmacy at a retail level, I got the opportunity to go into an on-site specialty.
Mhm.
Uh, so that really opened my eyes as to what a community really is, right? So from there, um, it was like I'm just eating all of this information, all that stuff. I cook at home and all that stuff. And it got to a point where I saw how fucked our healthcare system pretty much is,
Yeah.
in which, you have cancer patients who are surviving on, $500,000 medication a month. And it's because of their insurance and charitable foundations and all that stuff that they're able to get it. However, if they don't have any of that, what are they going to do? And so I got tired of telling grandmas, sorry, we can't help you, you know? And
Mhm.
so, like, after, like,
That's
I don't
heartbreaking.
know, yeah, after like
It's
the
tough.
fifth,
Yeah.
yeah, after like the fifth time, I, you know me, I barely took time off while
Mhm.
working. Um, I took all my PTO and I'm like, I'm gonna go home and I'm just going to reevaluate my life. And as I'm like, you know, thinking, processing, what am I gonna do? I'm just freaking the bear in my kitchen, just boom,
Really
the next thing over, the next thing. I'm just like feeding my family, and they're like, Alex, you need to stop. We're getting fat. And I'm like, I'm going through things.
process. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm processing all of this. And like I sat down and I had a heart to heart with mom, and she's like, Nene, you need to do something that's for you. And if you can't find that out, you got to look what you're doing to help you kind of cope with everything. And I'm like, well, I'm cooking. And she goes, why not go to culinary school? And I'm like, uh, culinary school, but yeah, she talked me into it. Um, that was in October of 2014.
Mhm.
January of 2015, I enrolled in Record on Low. And so I would continue working in pharmacy, and then I do nights in culinary school. And yeah, a year and a half later, I was in my externship, jumping from kind of place to place and seeing real life uh, chefs in person and um, kind of rub elbows with a couple famous chefs here and there uh, just to see how they work. And yeah, that was a good transition in my life.
That's dope, man. Like, was there a dish or anything that you made for your family that either you or them were like, there's something here. There's something.
So yeah, so like besides the typical Hispanic stuff like
Yeah, of
penne,
course.
arroz con mandule or something like that. Um,
The stuff we're born knowing how to make.
exactly, yeah, yeah, yeah. It's in the DNA. There was oh my God, a torta española, which is kind of like a quiche
Hmm.
in a way. So you have potatoes and quiche, but with potatoes. And so I was fucking around. Wasn't really designing anything. And when I popped it out of the pan, it was I'm like, I did this? I did this, and like it was just like I put it on Instagram. I think it's an Instagram on Facebook or whatever, and people were like, "Where did you go?" And I'm like, "At home. I did this," and they're like, "You did this. I did this," and I was like, "Okay, so there is something there that I can probably nurture," and so yeah, that and when you have somebody come to visit and they eat your food, not just once or twice, but like they keep going back for more. And then they tell you on the side, hey, I have a party on this date. Can you make me this?
Okay.
That says I'm not I'm show offy person, you know me. I that says something. That says something like, hey, maybe I can harness what's kind of there into something more focused. And yeah, that actually happened to me. And I was like, cool, awesome. And
That's
so he's like, you should do catering. And I'm like, I have no idea how to cater. I just do the things. So, so
yeah.
yeah.
That's awesome, man. You see, like that, and it's not like a show offy thing, but if you did it, flash if you got it, I guess. I mean, there's not wrong with it. Why would you not be proud of what you did?
Yeah.
I get that's one. I love the fact that your family nurtured it. Said, let's figure out what's going to make you happy and get you out of what's destroying you, like what's
Yeah.
really bringing you down. And then to see that, it, it, hell, we talked about it earlier when even when you hit me up and say, hey, even if you answer a question or even if you chime in, my what I'm creating resonated with someone. So I get that feeling.
Yeah.
But obviously mine doesn't look as pretty on IG. I'm sure.
I mean, you got reels.
Yeah, reels are funny.
Yeah, you got reels.
I got some funnies. That's awesome, man. And during that time, was there something that you saw that you said one day I want to get this good? Was there a dish or something, or even a point that you worked with someone and you said, I need to get there?
So, honestly, a kid of the 90s, right? With cable, and you can only watch so much now, Cartoon Network
Mm-hmm.
at a given moment, especially after like 9 o'clock. So I watch Food Network like crazy. So you have Emma Lagasse, you have
Damn,
yeah, what's the other guy?
Bobby Flay.
Bobby Flay. You have Alton Brown. Um, yeah, he's amazing. And that's looking at what he would do, especially after Good Eats, like how he breaks down. Because I'm a science nerd too, so when he would break down into like, well, this molecule does this, and you put this, it has this type of reaction. Well, it ends up having the Maillard reaction happening. Something that's salty will make it a little bit sweeter. Doing this, doing that, and I'm like, oh, okay, so it's chemistry. Oh, okay, I think I can do that. It makes sense in my brain. It makes sense in my head. And so I put, theory into practice, and whenever I would be able to do, a dish, it wouldn't look like it, but I'm like, if I keep practicing, I know I can get to that episode. Maybe not to his level, but I can at least do a copycat. So,
It's pretty
uh,
dope. I could at least get, yeah. I could
yeah,
see because that becomes like the ultimate goal because you start seeing these are people obviously that are icons, they're at the top of their class and industry.
yeah,
Start seeing that and that becomes a goal. That's perfect. That's
yeah,
great.
yeah. And especially like, with everything going on, who you want to be, type of role model and stuff like that, and trying to having so many, influencers out there, you
Hey,
you kind of want to make sure you kind of want to make sure that uh you kind of want to filter. It's like, is this person? Do I want to have this person impact me? And having that type of person, even if it's just through a TV show, of something that kind of resonates in your head, you're kind of like, okay, yeah, I can vibe with that.
I like that.
Yeah,
Awesome, man. Well, I'm glad you did start branching out from this stressful environment because anyone who's ever worked in pharmacy or medical field, they understand you have to have a lot of empathy but with that comes a lot of like emotional, like draining moments, like a lot of emotionally draining moments. You deal with these patients, you help them. Not all of them are just there for Viagra and to be annoying.
Yeah.
Some of them are there for some shit that they actually need to survive, and you connect with patients. So being able to understand that this was taking a toll on you and that you made that change is fantastic.
Yeah, it is a I after after that transition and then going through some other traumas throughout that transition as well. Um, on the other side of all of that, I look back and I'm like, you know what? This is actually what I needed, regardless of what the outcome was, because it took that turmoil, that stress that was being brought on a daily basis of something that truly was out of my hands, and it made me become a little bit more creative in a medium that you can have control. You can set fire to this and not burn. You can burn this without putting fire on it. And it's kind of like you're experimenting with different things and kind of going, okay, cool. I can put my emotions, my heart, my feeling, my soul into this, and I'll be ready for anything down the line.
That's dope.
Yeah.
I love that. All right. With that, we're going to take a quick commercial break, guys. During this time, make sure that you check out our sponsors, and see you in a moment. We'll get to know Alex a little bit more and talk about our drink of the day as well. Be right back, guys. Hey guys, while you're listening to the show, we know that you might want to partake in some drinks with us and enjoy the libations. Here at Bourbon and Bullshit, we ask that you drink responsibly. Don't drink and drive. Avoid Amazon one-click buy. And for the love of God, do not text your ex. You do not need that kind of closure. They've moved on. So should you, Joseph. You should stop Facebook stalking. She knows. She knows. Now, all jokes aside, don't do anything dumb. Take care of yourselves and be safe. Thanks, guys. Now back to the show. Hey, guys. So we are back. And during this time, if you are watching us on video, you know that I have been admiring the fact that me and Alex have the same chair.
Yeah.
It's a chair. But today, our drink of the day was actually a unique one. Want to talk about it a little bit. I know that Alex and I talked about the fact that on the show, I will nerd out for a little bit. Deal with it. That's what we're here for. We're going to learn about some brands and learn about some things. So actually, Alex, you're on the back end of a pretty cool interview that I got to have last night. I interviewed Lance Winters. He is a master distiller of St. George Distillery. They're a brand for the St. George Distillery. They make very unique spirits, and one of the first ones that brought back absinthe when it came through all that.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, it's they've been doing this for so long. It's insanely dope. But Lance is one of the most interesting people I've ever met, and he has great products. He is a 5 times James Beard Award nominee.
Oh, wow.
The Whiskey Hall of Fame. Selected for 2023's Whiskey Maker of the Year. His career started in the military. Who's a nuclear engineer, and then decided one day, I want to make beer and whiskey. And his resume was a bottle of whiskey that he put down on the distiller's table and said, I want to work here. Dope, right?
Yeah, that's how it is, man.
So the bottle I'm featuring today is Baller. It is, let me see if I can get it. Baller. It is an American single malt that's finished in a umashu cask. So it's, remember, you go to Kobe Steakhouse, right?
Yeah.
So they have plum wine.
Oh, yeah.
Plum wine's not really plums. It's not wine. It's like a fruit based spirit, and that's what this is finished in that cask.
Oh, okay.
So Baller's available almost everywhere now, but this bottle's pretty awesome. It's a single malt whiskey finished, and we made a drink using another one of their products, which is a spiced pear liqueur, which is fucking delicious. And for anyone who thinks I'm just doing this because I hung out with I've been drinking this for a while. It's down to nothing. It's down to the nub. This shit's great. I didn't even know I was going to interview him until 48 hours ago, and I already had all these products outside of the Valley's gin. But the prickly pear, or the spiced pear old fashioned, is 2 ounces of a blended whiskey of your choice. 3/4 ounce of this spiced pear liqueur, which is one of their goals is to make a spirit taste delicious prior to even making it alcoholic. So if you were going to make a spiced pear juice, that has to be perfect before we even consider making that alcohol. So 3/4 ounce of the spiced pear liqueur, 4 dashes of bitters, and you can use a tablespoon or a bar spoon of simple syrup and enjoy it. The thing was fantastic. Checking out St. George's, their storylines, what they do, and how every bottle they create is almost like a love song to, or love letter to something they care about. They've created a gin because he wanted to replicate the scent and taste of California, like all the summer fields and all. You, if you hear this man talk, it's insane. I want to buy everything. I don't even like gin like that. I enjoy gin, but it's not something I'm chasing after. But they are able to do be themselves unapologetically and really great products. So featuring the distillery and their product on our drink of the day, definitely worth checking out. I know that Alex isn't drinking right now with me, but I will tell you all the drink was fucking fantastic.
It was. I just sensed it from all the way over here, man. It's great.
But that
I'm on
is
my
our
third. I'm on my third.
man. I need to catch up. Shit, bro. This we'll make a video and tag the distillery, but it's one of those things that are a little out of the box and easy to make. I really encourage people like are intimidated by trying any recipes or hey, I want to go to a bar because I don't know how to make an old fashioned. I don't know how to make a margarita. I don't know how to make regular some pretty key core drinks. Experiment, fuck around with these things. And I want to make it whatever recipes I give you. It's not going to take 17 days to make. I want you to be able to have like 3 ingredients, what you have laying around the bar. Keep it pretty basic and easy. Because I won't lie. There's sometimes I'll see influencers like, oh, what you need to make is caramelized pineapple Earl Grey tea simple syrup. What? I don't have any of that at home. I need to go buy pineapple like right now. How do I caramelize it? Hold on, I'm gonna Google this real quick.
Yeah.
Which is fun, but when you get to that level, it's always dope. But to start off with something basic is really, really enjoyable, at least to me. But that's our drink. So I want to ask you a little bit more about your culinary journey and what you've throughout this time. I sent you this was during your time getting into the culinary industry, what was your standout restaurant or meal? Like what you when you said you rubbed elbows, you hung out with some people in spaces that were really, really top tier. What was a story or something you're like, holy shit, this is great?
So, um, let's see. I did I did my stage at Emerald's right after culinary school.
Mhm.
I did at Chop Chop. Um, Anybody out there, Chop Chop recipes. It both Emerald restaurants shut down prior to COVID, but um, yeah, I worked on both of those lines, and but prior to that, while I was still in school, during one of the oh my God, the Disney event, Food and Wine Festival.
Yeah, it's
Um,
yeah.
yeah, I was just like,
I
what?
talk about drink around the world, but I know it's supposed to be for food.
Exactly. They're like, hey, we need hands. And so I'm like, all right, let me just go a weekend that I know that I have off. And so I'm in the back. You have the chef of Twitter back then in there. You have I think like a Verizon CEO who happens to also be a chef. And like you have a bunch of these like high profile chefs just back there, not barking orders. They're being, very uh, uh, civil into everything because they know they're students. I was in my 20s, but I had like high school kids right next to me just trying to do their best, and they're like, "We're trying the best we can, chef." And so I'm like, "Okay, cool, whatever." And then night of like the big party that they have, which it was like in a very exclusive place. You have VIPs all over the place. Um, I just not bumped. It's just I was just carrying things, and I turn around, and there's like Iron Chef Cat Cora, and
Oh,
right there, and I'm like, "Hello, chef. Thank you. I'm not worthy." And then I just beat it because like I had a bunch of stuff in my hands, and I'm like, I would love to have your autograph. I would like to take a picture of you. Um, but no. And so yeah, it was just fantastic when it comes to that. I never met Emerald while working at his restaurants. There were I met this kid though. He was pretty chill.
mm,
I think he's a part of the Emerald's Empire, if you will. He's one of the higher executive chefs now.
Emerald
So
Empire. I love
I
that.
mean, hey,
Yeah, you're right.
that's what it is.
He built the fucking empire.
Yeah. But yeah, it's just when you have like these like I was saying before, these influences suddenly become real life and they're in front of you. You just, gotta remember, work mode. Yeah, chef, how you doing, chef, all that stuff. And so yeah, they were pretty chill, some VIPs are gonna VIP, but for the most part,
Some VIPs are going to VIP. They're going to be obnoxious.
yeah, yeah. But for the most part, pretty much anybody who I've just happened to work with and stuff like that, they've always been like tips. Hey, you're doing this wrong. Don't do this. Don't do that. But yeah, it's pretty been. It was an experience.
That's dope, man. What was the best meal or dish that you tried during that time?
So so during that time,
Mhm.
because because of everything that we were doing, um, well, hang on. Now that I think about it,
Ooh.
yeah, because I had something pop up, but it was way after my culinary time, and I'll talk about that in a minute. But um, at Shoutout, there was a Jesus, what was it called? It was oh my goodness, my mind is blanking. It was a blackened scallop with a brown butter beurre blanc, and it had sweet potato gnocchi.
Ooh.
And so, and it had
Potato
like,
gnocchi. I've never heard that.
yeah, so like, how gnocchi is like potatoes and all that stuff. So it's just sweet potato, and they would add a potato for consistency and all that stuff. And so I ate one because they brought it back. No big deal, right? And when I tasted it, I'm like, I'm in love with this. I would love to try and recreate this as best as I can. And I failed personally because it's just like the person who had done it uh knew exactly what to do. And so it just takes time and practice. And every time that I've tried to do it, I've tried to do it like on the fly, and it's just not, it wasn't showing up for me. But yeah, during that time, that was the one that would be in my repertoire to trying to recreate,
Mhm.
but it's there. Not to mention the KFC Korean fried chicken. Um,
Oh, yes. Oh, I love Korean fried chicken.
yeah, it was a Korean fried chicken on kimchi mashed potatoes. Yeah,
Kimchi mashed potatoes.
kimchi mashed potatoes. So like you get kimchi,
Sounds
uh,
delicious.
yeah, and chop it up, put it in mashed potatoes. Just amazing.
Now I want kimchi.
Yeah, I
Jesus.
know, right?
I got Korean fried chicken wings today. So,
There you go. Yeah.
all right. Out of all that, you can tell me your personal one or, yeah, let's do personal. So we don't knock anyone. Of all your times that you were cooking and trying stuff, what was the worst dish you've made? And you're like,
Oh,
fuck, like I can't, you, this is awful. This is terrible. I can tell you like the worst drinks I've made.
okay.
So I can tell you that while you're thinking. You want to do
Yeah,
that?
go for it.
So so I remember when I was first experimenting with cocktails. Obviously, I'm not a professional bartender. So anyone listening to this who's like, oh no, I'm not a professional bartender. I am straight up someone who was a nerd who just started doing research and learning as much about recipes and all that as much as I could, learning the history, experimenting, fucking around and finding out. One of those tales of fucking around and finding out. I tried to make something called a Black Manhattan. Now, Manhattan's a pretty well-known cocktail. It's overly simple. Manhattan. It's like 2 ounces of whiskey. It's vermouth, bitters, and depending on who you ask, you put like absinthe rinse or something. Uh, but I look up the recipe for Black Manhattan because I tried to forget that existed. Black Manhattan. Excuse me, y'all. You're probably all like, "That's not the recipe, Arthur." Yeah, I know. Shut up. All right, Black Manhattan, like I said, not a professional. Black Manhattan is supposed to be 2 ounces of rye whiskey, 1 ounce of Avena Armaro, one dash of bitters, uh, Ango bitters, and one dash of orange bitters. Super simple, right? Should be the
Right.
easiest fucking thing in the world. Except I don't just have Averna sitting around the fucking house. So I get finally, get my hands on this bottle, expensive bottle. If anyone has a Maro at home and hasn't opened it in a while, check the shelf date. That's not what happened to me, but those go bad fast. A lot of Amaros are like similar to fortified wines. They'll go bad fast, not fast, but they go bad faster than like your whiskeys and brandies.
Yeah. They like oxidate a little bit faster. And
Exactly.
yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Fortified wines oxidate much faster. So they even make this little spray that you can spray inside of a bottle to reduce the oxidation. I didn't have that. New to the game, but that's not what happened. So anyone who has an Amaro knows that that's a very strong, potent fucking taste. That's why it's only 1 ounce. That's why it's not really always fucking the key ingredient to most recipes. Your boy flipped it and made 2 to 1 the opposite way. And that made a Black Manhattan that tasted like fucking tar. And I served it to 3 friends, so proud of a recipe I found online and finally got all the ingredients. And in my excitement, I did it wrong. Because everything's supposed to go into a cocktail glass. And so I'm pouring everything enough proportions, what I think is the ratios and proportions to make sure it's for 4 cocktails. Super excited. And somewhere I must have misjudged and poured double the amount of Amaro. And for those, imagine really, really bitter licorice, like gross, over the top, fucking strong. I served that, and 3 people were the kindest human beings that they never needed to be because they're like, "Oh, what is this supposed to taste like?" Like they're trying to find ways of like validating that I didn't serve them tar, and I was like, "Is it bad?" Well, it depends what it's supposed to taste like. No, it's either bad or good. Yeah. Like my friends are trying to be so sweet, and I'm like, oh my god, I fucked it. But their faces, Steph, Rosanna, I forget at the time, Richie, they were like, oh, I could see this. It's unique. It's the way you see your homies that are trying to support you when you did something wrong. I love these people to death, but for fuck's sake, I felt so dumb. Just flipping ingredients. It's like using salt instead of sugar or something. And I'm like, fuck, I can't believe I did this wrong. I'm like, fuck. Like, it's so early and proud. I'm like, god damn it. It was the worst. It was disgusting. And they drank it all to be supportive. And later on, I did it again. I was like, I'm an idiot. Fucked it up. It's not a bad recipe. Fuck.
Yeah.
What about you?
For me, I was, for whatever reason, I thought, you know what, I'm gonna do a gumbo, and gumbos are like super labor intensive. You have to have the patience for it,
The Trinity, like
all that, and especially if like, as a lot of people like know how to make spaghetti, but for whatever reason they make spaghetti for like 10 people when they live alone or something like that, right? So
I have no idea what the ratios are for spaghetti. I don't
yeah,
know what the pasta
boom, that's it. Yeah.
I grab what looks like it's going to be enough, and then it ends up being way more than I expected to be.
Exactly. And so I cook that way sometimes. So I have like leftovers for like 4 days or something like that. And that's why I start meeting my neighbors. And I'm like, hey, I live there. I made food. Here you go. And so
They ever suspicious when you show up with a bowl of spaghetti?
the first time.
The second, thank God you're here.
Exactly. And so I never made gumbo before. I really just kind of breezed through the recipe thinking, oh, okay, roux, this, that, third, book. I gather the ingredients, I'm doing that. And cooking down a roux to where it needs to be. And if you don't have the patience for it, that's a recipe for disaster. Because I burnt that shit. And because it looked the same color as what I'm looking online, I went, I'm golden.
How bad did that taste?
You ever like fallen down and eaten dirt?
Oh,
Yeah.
oh,
Yeah.
that's a lot of food. Gumbos are
That was a lot of food. Yeah, exactly. I'm looking at this and I I I didn't weep. I took some time off the next day just to kind of just take some time alone, recuperate, reevaluate a little bit, and be like,
Should I be doing this?
yeah, like what happened? Where did I go? And
That's fucking hilarious.
yeah, and so no, yeah, and the thing is, just like your friends, just like that network of people, I gave it to my family without tasting it because I thought, oh yeah, it's gonna taste good because it smells good, and I
Mhm.
and I plated them each just a small bowl, and they're like, "What is this?" It's gumbo, and they're like, "Oh, okay, is it spicy?" It's like it's not supposed to be. Okay, it's a little bitter.
Oh,
It's a little bitter, and then I'm like, and my what's it called? My acid reflux is acting up. I really can't do anything else because I'm dually sausage, right? And they're like, oh, yeah, it's fine, it's fine. And they're trying to be kind to you. They want to be supportive and all that stuff. My sister comes along and she goes, "Ooh, something smells different." All right, and she goes, "This is not good. But if it's supposed to taste this way, I will eat it." And I'm like, what do you mean it's not good? Anything? I tasted it. And I'm like, oh my God, people don't eat it. Don't eat it. I'm like grabbing it from their hands. Um, but yeah,
the fact
yeah,
that your sister had to be the one to step in, like, listen, Alex, mijo,
yeah, pretty
like,
much.
it's not the way.
Yeah, I tried it again. I did have like the day off that day, and I just made sure that everything was going to be exactly how it's supposed to be. I had the patience for it. I even tasted the roux right before. It's like, okay, this is not burnt or anything like that. And then the second time around, it turned out a hell of a lot better. But
Good.
yeah,
So gumbo is back on your options of things that you make for people now.
no, I mean it's in the back of the menu, but
That's what I hear.
yeah,
I'm
but
not.
like I'll do it, but you're gonna really want it. So
Listen, you're far, but I would take gumbo.
okay,
You're handing out gumbo. I'm taking gumbo.
okay, okay.
Far as hell though. All right, guys, we're gonna take a quick commercial break. Keep the lights on with the people who pay our bills. We gotta pay them some homage. And when we get back, just talk about a little bit some show notes and any times that Alex has wanted to yell at me over the radio. Be right back, guys.
Sponsor of Bourbon and Bullshit, Big Bang Boom Collective is Orlando's burlesque and cabaret entertainment group, comprised of Midnight Fables Cabaret, Big Bang Boom Cabaret, and Foxy's Den. Follow us on Instagram at Big Bang Boom Collective, or join our VIP email list for info on upcoming shows by visiting www.bigbangboomcollective.com.
All right, and we are back. Guys, if you have not done so already, the wonderful Aurora Fable and her team of the Big Bang Boom Cabaret actually won for Orlando Fringe, so the best international show. So they are actually going to be performing at the Plaza Live for the Masquerade of the Red Death Ball, January 25th. Tickets are available on Eventbrite, and it's going to be a full-fledged ball. They're going to perform. Everyone's asked to, dress nice accordingly. There's going to be actually dancing. There's going to be wine. There's going to be spirits, drinking. It's going to be an actual party based off of the Masquerade of the Red Death from Edgar Allan Poe's 1842 Gothic short story. So for all of you who've watched Follow the House of Usher and say, this is such a creative, great idea. It's not, but it's a great idea. It's not creative. It's not unique. It's creative spin, but it's not. If you want to check out what the original was, the OG was in our beautiful rendition or their beautiful rendition. I don't put on any kind of makeup or do any of those dances. No one would show up. It would be terrible. Definitely check them out. The Plaza Live on January 25th. Tickets are starting at around $15 for just general admission, but it should be pretty packed. All the way up to if you want to be VIP and hang out at the front tables with us, prices vary. Go check them out. Let them know Bourbon Bullshit sent you. All right. So outside of that, Alex. So how many times? Because I think we've all done this, and it's not necessarily anything unique to this show, but I have listened to more than one podcast, and I've won it or radio show. I was like, no, this is the answer. When people are struggling to know the answer to something, or someone says something wrong, it's like that's not right.
Yeah.
Has there been a time or moment outside of the chickpea juice where
Yeah.
you've been listening to the show that you want to jump in and say something? It's like, listen, asshole, or anything.
I mean, there was. like to correct, there's been very few times I'll be
Or just
honest.
even chime in. Like,
Yeah.
I could have an show my
And
opinion on this.
yeah, I'm just happy that, fact checking is a thing. And it's live.
Oh, you hear me do it live a
Yeah,
lot.
exactly. And because it's kind of like I've seen other podcasts is they're saying like, oh yeah, red's a kind of a green color, and it's like, what? No, it's not. And so like, because they're just talking out of their ignorance, which is not their fault. It's not their fault. They just don't know, and so they're trying to make things work. But what one like memorable moment too that I do know that I have was oh my God, I think it was, I don't remember their name, but it was like the Chef's Table episode
Okay, yeah.
with
Right,
the
sure.
omakase and
Yeah.
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 So hearing her and her husband just talk about the experience, not just the experience, how it is, how it's supposed to be cooked, how is this, that, and the third. And I'm thinking like, wow, that's so much knowledge experience that I'm I'm straight up thinking I'm like, I want to ask them straight up. It's like, hey, why don't you do like uh Bourdain-esque uh YouTube short at least? Go around downtown Orlando to these new places that are popping up
Mhm.
and just talk your knowledge, talk your experience and all that stuff about these specific places. Cause yeah, it'd be tight, and then do crossover events with, your boy, G, with, like you're doing right now with the courtesy and all that stuff. And I'm like, that, that's definitely an opportunity, especially as somebody who lives in that same area.
Yeah.
And but yeah, it was and then obviously whenever
Amanda.
yeah, yeah, that's literally what it is.
I,
Yeah,
I figured it was gonna be that one.
yeah, there was a time where they're just talking about what they go through as healthcare personnel and what they do and how sometimes people think that it's a service
Yeah.
and they're like, hey, I need to speak with your manager. And say, well, I don't have a manager. I'm here to save your life. Stop picking on that, please.
Yeah, love that.
And so I'm back in healthcare, COVID, hello.
Mhm.
And so I have to deal with that too on an administrative end. Because there's a lot of people going, hey, my insurance isn't covering XYZ, what's going on? And so you're gonna have to go, well, you're the one that picked up the insurance. I never picked up the insurance. What are you talking about? Let me speak to your manager. They're gonna say the same thing I am. I'm just letting you know what it is ahead of time. But it is what it is. Um, but
You,
yeah.
you kind of connected with that one, especially thinking that, bro, we go through the same shit. First with the Brian and Sherry one, I think to your point, they have an extenuating amount of like experience. And Brian's also a very talented drink maker. They're
Yeah.
both wherever they that's one thing I appreciate about both of them. When they decide they want to do something, they do it to this is what I love, this is what I'm passionate about, I'm gonna do it right. And I respect that from people. Part of the reason why we brought them on. But
Yeah.
I thought the same thing. I thought having them run around and interview chefs and cooks and all that and do that food net experience and places to recommend and writing little articles and all that would be super freaking dope. So definitely worth shit. I might send them a message, be like, hey, we're thinking about doing this, like a blog or vlog and just creating content. So definitely. And yeah, with the Amanda Nurse episode, man,
Yeah.
that was a long, great episode. Like the
Yeah.
whole time, I'm like, yo, this is not fucking in my head. This isn't fucking Wendy's. This is the hospital.
Yeah.
Like you're not
100%.
ordering nuggets. You're trying not to die. Sit
Yeah.
down and stop. Like,
Exactly.
and patients don't see it that way. It's fucked where now everyone thinks of it like a fast food service. So yeah,
Yeah.
and I'm
Yeah.
glad at least two of those really stood out with you. You're right though. Like I'm not your man. I'm not. There's no manager to tell me to save your life a different way. I'm saving your life.
Exactly. They're like and like listening to both of them back to back. I was just like I'm in the conversation. I'm just like looking in the mirror. Is it? Yeah, exactly, exactly. And like every time it's like the shit story that they said.
Oh, the shit on the wall?
Yeah, yeah. I did not have that type of story during my time in the pharmacy directly or in a healthcare system. I did have it at 3303 many a times, and exactly the same. It's just it was everywhere. But anyways, enough trauma.
Yeah.
But yeah, but yeah, just listening to them and just kind of resonating with what they're saying was just um, you know, during the pandemic and all that stuff, people were cheering the nurses, the whoever was part of those essential workers and all that stuff. But the work continued on much, much longer after that. And it still does, and so, uh kudos to anybody out there that's going through it. Um and not getting enough flowers thrown in their way because um, at the end of it all, sometimes it's worth it. Sometimes you do need a break. You need to go to a culinary school, go to do anything you need to do, um, and then maybe learn different processes so that when you do come back, if you do come back, you can kick, you know, strategically kick ass with words and with kindness, because that's what they want. That's what the corporate overlords want us to do. And so, yeah,
Corporate overlords.
yeah,
Great.
yeah. And it reminded me of the interview that you had with Chef Rishi
Hmm.
as well. Because one of the big things that he said was about passion. Like, if you don't have the passion to do something, don't do it. In other words, if you're going to a line of work or a hobby, podcast, whatever, and anything that you're doing, you're just kind of half-assing it, you're not going to get to where you think you're going to go. It's going to become a burden on you big time. And so,
So much so.
yeah, so like he was just saying that, and I was like, 100%. Like that is, if I was like one of those people Monday Night Raw, holding up a sign or whatever. I'd like find your passion and keep them going forward or something like that. Because, um, you need to find your network of people that cares about you enough to let you know, hey, don't burn out, eat something, take a shower, sleep,
Hmm.
and then kick ass in the morning. Because that's part of the whole passion project that is you. So, yeah.
Good, man. Yeah, Chef Greg, his episode, even if you're not into the culinary, like just in general, I love like it was find what you're passionate about, do it. Otherwise, or if you're not passionate about what you're doing, don't fucking do it.
Yeah.
If it's just checking boxes and clicking stuff, you'll never be satisfied and you'll feel like you wasted so much time doing some shit you didn't care about.
Hmm.
Like he is one of the coolest dudes you ever meet, and that episode didn't do him justice. He's so much even cooler outside of it, talking about like his passions and things he cares about, all the things he does, and what he knows about. And you could see his eyes light up. He's like, "I'm sorry if I'm boring everyone, bro. No, we're enthralled. Keep fucking going."
Yeah.
I'm just talking about like wood, but yeah, it was interesting. What you ruined them? Keep it going. Let's not
Yeah.
talk. Go back to the
Yeah.
wood conversation.
Exactly. And that's the like the most beautiful part of any type of conversation. If you have somebody who's passionate about something and they're just going into the nuances, into the details and stuff like that, that's the part of it. That's what brings life into the conversation, brings light into this really, really stupidly dark world that we're living in. And so, you're giving voice to them. It's just bringing about some positive energies that we really need today. So,
Yeah, I'm glad, man. Thank you. I'm glad you enjoyed that episode, and and in all three of those, you could see that passion come through.
oh yeah,
What they really care about, what makes them tick, and all that. Yeah, Brian and Sherry, they're not in those industries, but they are so connected. They know the recipes, they know the people, they know the chefs, they know their history, they know where to go, they know what the seasonal foods are. They back and forth.
yeah,
Whenever I'm looking for a good place to eat, and I always, hey Sherry, where should I go? What's your price point? Listen, it's been a little tight this month. A lot of video equipment. What we're she's like, here and here. Bet, say less. But or Chef Greg, like, hey man, like I have these bottles, blah blah. He's like, did you know that this distill? And he'll just go. He's a chocolatier event January 23rd, where there's a master chocolatier is going to be presenting at SoCo Thornton Park, and I'm going to be there mainly because I'm a chunky kid who likes chocolate, but McAllen's going to be there, all that. But to hear someone speak about an industry they're that passionate about is dope. Yeah. Like, I'm not mad at all about going there. It's not my cup of tea, but yeah, let's fuck it. Let's fuck around, find out, and see if I find something I'm really interested about.
Yeah, because it's like in that like convoluted information that sometimes they're giving out, there's maybe that like little nugget of information that just resonates with you. It's like, oh, that does go with something that I was trying to do, a recipe on a new drink or a different cocktail. Oh, I can infuse this with that, and I can do that. Oh, that brings, and that just do. And suddenly, it broadens your perspective and what you can and can't do, and then makes you start questioning, even though I can't do it, should I? And so that's when like experiments come
and figure out if it won't work. Should I try?
Exactly. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun hearing those passions. I'm glad those resonated, because I myself, as a consumer of many a podcast, I've sat there and go like, one of my favorite shows is the Fantasy Footballers podcast, and I'll hear them say, "Yeah, I don't know why that player blah blah blah." That's relationship, because he was drafted by the coach that now is the offensive coordinator, and they won't answer it. I was like, I don't know, maybe there's a connection there, because he was drafted by the coach. Hey,
click the link and learn more. God.
Come here. Like, I'll call you right. I feel like calling them. I know it's not live. Or you want to be part of the conversation. It's like, well, I agree. I think that's a great point, Mike. He can't hear me. Why am I talking to my radio? Man can't hear me.
Exactly.
What am I doing? What's happening here?
Yeah.
But it's just fun. And so we are getting about that time to close out. But I do want to ask you our favorite niche question. Full Frontal used to be, what are you watching, reading? And here's going to be, what is your deathbed cocktail or meal? And it comes in 3 ways. If you decide food or cocktail, pick. Which one would you Oh, fuck it.
I'll do both.
Right. So it's going to be deathbed cocktail and meal. What is the meal or cocktail you would make for the person you love the most, a loved one? And what is your Mona Lisa cocktail or meal that you're thinking either the best thing I've ever made or the best thing I've ever had and I want to share with somebody?
Okay, so best thing I ever had. What was the other one?
For your loved one, something that really speaks to you for who you are, and deathbed, like the last drink on earth.
Gotcha. Okay, so when it comes to the best thing that I've honestly ever had, that I still dream about, and I will go back and get it.
Dream about? Oh, I gotta hear this.
Bro, I dream about it. And it's simple in terms of what it is, but how it came out, I was just like, this is the best goddamn thing I've ever had. And so there's this place over in Lakeland, quick, it plug, 1961. It's like it's a fusion place, Spanish fusion place. Really great bar. I took my mom for her birthday, and they're so kind, like coming in, they're so welcoming. And they had a ropa vieja that I've eaten ropa vieja before. It's stewed beef in tomato sauce with peppers and whatever. This thing had so much flavors that like the first bite, it was like ratatouille, where like you're going back in there, and I'm just like, what is this? And like I spoke with the person that was serving us. I'm like, hey, what magic do you have in the back? Because this is amazing. And so yeah, and they're like, no, we just do it. And I'm like, don't tell me that. Don't tell me that, because that's what I tell people. You need to tell me what you do. But No, it was like instead of just like white rice, they did like a white risotto. Um,
Oh,
yeah, so you have like a creaminess going on factor in there. You have the ropa vieja, just big chunks of like the sirloin that I used a spoon and it just like, that shredded right then and there. I didn't have to, pick at it. It was just so amazing. And then they paired that with it was a sour. I think it was like a lime sour or something.
hmm,
I I wish I had like taken the picture of the menu that day,
okay.
but it was a temporary thing. They brought a bunch of like Peruvian I believe it was rum. I could be wrong. You know
Maybe.
better than me. But yeah, the mix was just on point and it just complemented everything.
That's dope.
And so that's something that honestly that was like the best thing so far that I've had.
601 in Lakeland.
Yeah, 1901.
1901.
1961. 1961.
1961 in Lakeland. All right.
Yeah.
What's the
And so yeah, it's dope. Their menu is always like turning, but I believe that ropa vieja is like one of their staple things.
Okay.
And so check it out if you can. Deathbed. I'm an old-fashioned kind of guy. And so I think I'd get just a good quality old-fashioned.
Okay.
Yeah. Old-fashioned, um, light on the ice, so that, it's just there's just a little bit of that dilutedness from the ice. So it's not like watery by the mid drink of it all. Um, so yeah, if I had like that was gonna be like my last 30 minutes. I'd have that there,
That
and I
is
just say goodbye to the world. So
okay. I like it, man.
yeah, and then to make um well, family's not big drinkers, but meal wise, yeah, it has to be like a lasagna.
Oh, how do you count the layers in your lasagna?
Say that again.
That's a weird question. I know. What do you count as layers in your lasagna? Is it lasagna,
Oh, like
meat? Like what counts as a layer?
so
The
for
most
me,
random question I know. I'm
no,
just
but it's a good one. So I do pasta is a layer, the bechamel is a layer, and then the meat sauce is a layer.
really
Yeah, because if it's just a chunk, then if you're gonna be like doing the 40-layer pasta or the 40-layer lasagna, it's just gonna be like one, two, three, four, 5 layers, or if it's too chunky, it's gonna be like just 2 layers of lasagna. And so it just really depends on how you're gonna be doing your meat. And so yeah, at least that's how I look at things.
so you're gonna laugh. So somewhat see, I count the when you get to the next pasta, that's one layer.
Okay.
When you get to whatever the next pasta is. So if I go, wait, not the next pasta. I think of a layer as like if you say pasta, meat sauce, pasta, cheese, pasta, that's one layer.
Okay.
I know that sounds weird, but
No, I can see it though. I can see it though.
I didn't think that there was I thought I was right the whole time. And it was no, you count every single thing that you add to the pasta as a layer. You do? Yeah.
Yeah.
Don't you? I was like, no, that's
I mean, yeah.
hey, you went to culinary school. I did not. I am just a drinker, so I'm going to trust your opinion when you
Yeah.
got it layer.
Yeah, like there's this place in New York that well, many places in New York, but they have like a 40-layer lasagna and it's ridiculous. But the thing is like their sauces, their meat sauces
Mhm,
are like super thin. And
mhm.
so it's like pasta sauce, bechamel cheese, pasta sauce, bechamel cheese. And that by the end of it, you'll have like a tower about like that thick. And yeah, I mean, that's just my take. But
I'm not mad at it. I just
yeah,
was
me neither.
I was just curious. So the pasta, I mean not pasta, lasagna.
The
Dope.
lasagna. Yeah, that was when I was 13 and um starting out to like really resonate with cooking. That was like my first dish. And
Okay.
I did it like quietly after school. Mom still at work. And I banged out a lasagna. Tasted all right, I guess. But
I
uh,
just
yeah, no, she's like, "Oh, you made something. You eat it first." And but no,
there's no trust anymore, Alex. You ruined that
yeah,
a bad roof.
yeah, no, but yeah, it was great. It was phenomenal, and yeah, that was my first dish, and that's the one I give my people.
Oh man, I'm glad. Well, thanks for sharing, man. Well, outside, so we're gonna close out. Anywhere, anything you want to endorse? Where can people find you and all that?
Um, I really don't have. Well, I'll tell you what. If you're looking for homemade, like scarves, homemade dolls and stuff like that, like crochets and stuff like that. My mom has a business. It's La Consentida. You can just search it up on Facebook. Um, if not, you check out my stuff on Facebook, Alex Cardona. I'll be posting occasionally, but yeah,
All right. Well, we'll share your mom's stuff and make sure that if people are looking for a gift and everything, they could find her at least.
yeah.
Spell the at.
Oh,
Oh,
it's let's see if I can get it real quick. It's at Consentida. It's LACON. I'm getting it now. My bad.
oh, all good. Yeah. But while you're looking for it, I do want to thank you for all the support coming on the show, being with us from like day one, essentially. You're one of the founding members, Alex. And I
Yeah,
promise you, you're getting your glass and magnet. It's in my back seat. I just don't
it's
stop at FedEx.
it's fine. I'm
Oh, I know.
not
It's
patiently waiting every day looking
damn. Oh shit.
outside.
By Friday, it's getting shipped. By Friday, it's
No,
straight up like even yesterday when I went to the event, I was like, Alex's glass. It's fucking magnets. It's coasters. I need to fucking stop at a FedEx. Jesus Christ. I'm
no,
bad.
it's my fault, man. I live out in Carajo, man.
No, no, no. Doesn't fucking matter. I should have sent that shit a while ago. I have the boxes wrapped up. It's all pretty, but
Yeah.
spell mom's at.
That's LACONSENTIDA underscore crochet y mas.
Nice, Imas.
Yeah.
Awesome. Well, like I said, thanks for hanging out with us today and giving some of the opportunity to get the supporter spotlight going. But for those who are listening at home, you can find us at bourbon underscore and underscore BS. All socials that includes TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, just the Bourbon BS podcast. For those of you who are just joining the show for the first time, we're aiming towards possibly doing a minor rebrand just to make sure that we are a little bit more palatable and the algorithms don't push me down too much. So instead of bullshit, we might go bourbon and BS, but you know what the fuck it means.
Yeah.
But still trying to stick true to the core of who we are. But if you guys are enjoying what we're doing, click like, subscribe, share, follow, and please send this to everyone, including your ex. I don't care because I'll tell them that they suck.
I'll tell Joseph, no worry about
Please do. Guys,
that.
take care. Be safe. Bye. Hey guys, today's episode is brought to you by Burn, Termite, and Pest Control. I first met Joe Byrne on Full Frontal Nerdity Show and decided to give his company a try. They have been the best pest service I've ever had, from flexible scheduling, attention to detail, fair pricing, and everything you love about a small business. I highly recommend Joe Byrne and Burn, Termite, and Pest Control. It's a family-owned and operated business with over 30 years of experience in termite and pest. You can reach Burn, Termite, and Pest Control at 321-297-7985. Once again, 321-297-7985. And let them know Bourbon and Bullshit sent you. Thanks, guys. See you next time. Hey guys, today's episode is brought to you by Burn, Termite, and Pest Control. I first met Joe Byrne on Full Frontal Nerdity Show and decided to give his company a try. They have been the best pest service I've ever had, from flexible scheduling, attention to detail, fair pricing, and everything you love about a small business. I highly recommend Joe Byrne and Burn, Termite, and Pest Control. It's a family-owned and operated business with over 30 years of experience in termite and pest. You can reach Burn, Termite, and Pest Control at 321-297-7985. Once again, 321-297-7985. And let them know Bourbon and Bullshit sent you. Thanks, guys. See you next time.